the 26th day of January 2021, and I'm your anchor, JARP Davies. Stories coming up on this edition of the program. President George Weah challenges his cabinet to recalibrate and address pressing issues affecting the Liberian people. 9 counties to benefit from USAID-sponsored domestic tax revenue enhancement program. The Liberian government says road connectivity remains a top priority of its development agenda. And away from home, large numbers of Ghanaians paid homage to late President Jerry John Rawlings ahead of his funeral on Wednesday. These stories and more are all coming up. Keep watching. We'll be right back. Welcome to LNTV News Live. Liberian President George Weah is challenging his cabinet to redouble their efforts in addressing pressing issues affecting the people of Liberia. President Weah is at the same time calling on his cabinet ministers to recalibrate and deliver on the promises that brought the CDC-led government to power in 2017. He was speaking Monday when he delivered his 4th annual message to the 54th National Legislature at the capital.
I have duly reported to you on the state of the Liberian nation. And from my report, we can see rightfully conclude that the state of our nation is stable and peaceful. Together, we have shown remarkable resilience in the face of the unprecedented and unforeseen challenges presented to us by the global pandemic. In spite of these challenges, our development drive has not been derailed. We understand some of the personal and collective challenges we face in our lives. We feel the pain you feel on a day-to-day basis as you seek to put bread on your table. I too have felt the pain of hunger and poverty. I have mandated the entire machinery of my administration to recalibrate and enhance the focus on finding lasting solutions to issues facing our people.
Meanwhile, President Weah has reiterated his government's call to the legislature to approve the printing of new Liberian dollar banknotes to solve the liquidity problem currently being faced in the economy.
The Central Bank of Liberia has informed me that it is seeking authority from the National Legislature to print a new family of banknotes, as it is the responsibility of this august body to grant such approval under the advice of the Central Bank. Mr. Speaker, members of the 54th Legislature, I respectfully call upon you, honorable ladies and gentlemen, to act swiftly to resolve the situation before the next season of high demand for cash. In the face of this liquidity situation, and while we endeavor to encourage our citizens to sustain their wider use of mobile money for transactions, the executive will intensify consultation with the National Legislature to pursue currency reform with the aim of promoting monetary policy, credibility, and enhancing confidence in the economy.
President George Weah presented his fourth State of the Nation address on yesterday at the Capitol in Monrovia. The General Manager of Transco CLSG, Mohammed Sharif, over the weekend toured the project substation at Mancoffit in White Plains, expressing optimism that the transmission lines will be commissioned in February. Transco CLSG is a $330 million United States electricity interconnection project linking 4 West African countries, including Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea. Speaking to a team of reporters during the tour, Mr. Sharif disclosed that Transco CLSG Liberian project is 97% complete.
Everything here was at a flow. The entire project in Liberia was about close to 20% physical implementation. And I'm proud to say now, where we are closely around 97% completion from Ma all the way to this particular substation. And if you take it to Watersa, you'll be around that 95-96% complete. So that's a significant improvement in terms of the efforts we've made to ensure that the project is implemented in the schedule, according to the schedule. So that's number one. Number two, what is the relevance of this project? The relevance of the project is part of the ABC of development. As you all may be aware, electricity is so important for farm to market road, for schools, hospitals. So part of the project we have what we call rural electrification. Rural electrification's aspect of the project, it means you have 2 to 5 kilometers apart, both sides of the project. All the villages are along the way from Nimba all the way to the Cape Man side. Every village along that route, once you are 5 kilometers apart, both sides, be electrified. And this component is financed by the African Development Bank. So the CLSG project is financed by 4 donors: the World Bank, the African Development Bank, the German Development Bank, the KfW, and the European Investment Bank. In Liberia, the African Development Bank is financing the rural electrification component, as well as the land linking from Ma all the way to Yekepa to Zim.
Mr. Sharif also gave an update about the 4 substations in Liberia and the areas they will supply electricity.
From Ma in Cote d'Ivoire, there where the initial supply of electricity will be coming from to Yekepa. There is a 2 to 5 kV substation in Yekepa. What does it mean? It's a connection point where the LEC will be connecting to our substation to supply electricity to people of Nimba and beyond. Then from there we will connect to Botota. Botota substation will be there for central Liberia going to southeastern Liberia, and also to the north in Lofa, Bon, as far as the southeastern from Botota. There is a substation there. Then from Botota we are going straightly to Bikena Grand Bassa. Bikena substation will be there to connect the people of Grand Bassa County, Riverside County, as well as some part of Magibi. From Bikena we come to Mancoffit, which we are now today. This Mancoffit substation is the biggest among the CLSG substations in 4 countries. The Mancoffit substation. This is mainly there for Montserrado. Given the population density of Montserrado, will be there to supply Montserrado. So if you look at the back there is a substation owned by the Liberian government, LEC. We will be connecting with the LEC substation to supply Montserrado County. Then from here, we also have a substation in Mano. That substation is meant to be connected to supply the inhabitants of Bapolu, Bomi, and Cape Town County. That's how the CLSG project was structured. So when it
That's the general manager of Transco CLSG project, is Mohammed Sharif, doing a tour of the project substation in White Plains on Saturday. If you just joined us, a reminder that you're watching LNTV News live here on LNTV. 30 minutes of news from Liberia and other parts of the world. My name is JARP Davies, and on this Tuesday, January 26, 2021 edition of the program, the stories we are following: President George Weah challenges his cabinet to recalibrate and address pressing issues affecting the Liberian people. 9 counties to benefit from USAID-sponsored domestic tax revenue enhancement program. The Liberian government says road connectivity remains a top priority of its development agenda. And away from home, large numbers of Ghanaians pay homage to late former President Jerry John Rawlings ahead of his funeral on Wednesday. More stories are still ahead. Keep watching. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the program. 9 counties are expected to benefit from the USAID-sponsored domestic tax revenue enhancement through the public education initiatives for Liberia. The domestic tax revenue campaign on excess tax stem will be implemented through the USAID Revenue Generation, Governance and Growth Project, that's the RG3 for Liberia. A release from the LRA says the joint R3G, LRA and Minister of Finance team is expected to conclude the initial phase of the project on the Access Tax Stem implementation workshop in Banga County this week. The LRA project is expected to be extended to Lofa and Nimba counties, to be followed by other counties in southeastern Liberia. At the same time, the European Union in Liberia, as part of commemorating International Day of Education, has certificated 3 Liberian students for their outstanding performances in the just ended Voices of the Youth, that's a national rap, singing, and poetry contest in Monrovia. The latest, that's the students include Xavier Johnson of the St. Teresa Convent High School as first place winner, Divan Sise of the Life International School on the Bushel Island second winner, and Paula Jeremy third place winner. Speaking to reporters following the certification ceremony Monday, EU Deputy Head of Mission Joel Frutos said the union intends to make the contest an annual national event. Okay, seems that we have a problem with that clip, but the student Xavier Johnson, on behalf of her colleagues, thanked the European Union for giving them the opportunity to showcase their talents.
It was basically centered around, because when I looked at our country, most of the time I see people, they're always on politics and they're dividing. We have a divisive politics in this country, and unity is one of the things that can progress our nation, and politics divides us. So I looked at that point, and then I looked at how the disadvantaged youth in this country doesn't have enough opportunities as other people without disabilities. I saw that as well, and basically it's centered around those points, and how if we focus on our economy and creating farms and all these things, we wouldn't have to be importing things that would cost a lot. Instead, we'll be able to grow things in our country, and it will be able to boom our economy, instead of just talking to people, abusing people through politics and all of these things. I'm honored.
More than 100 agro enterprises have received stimulus grants from the Ministry of Agriculture under the ministry's Smallholder Agriculture Transformation and Agribusiness Revitalization Project. The over $290,000 United States stimulus grants for the agro enterprises is funded by the World Bank and the International Fund for Agricultural Development, and that targets farmers, producers, and processors. Presenting the checks to the beneficiaries in Congo Town over the weekend, Agriculture Minister Janine Cooper said the move is to help commercialize agriculture to improve the Liberian economy.
I would like to recognize the brain behind this cash grant, Mr. Ansu Abraham Metzger, who came one day and said, Minister, all the things we're trying to do, can we give these grants to farmers? And you know, there were COVID times, so I didn't jump up and hug him, but I thought it was a fantastic idea. Because the number one problem that all of you face, if you sit down and ask you, is access to finance. So this is not a loan, it's a grant. It's to help you, whatever you're doing, to do more of it, to do it better, and to prepare yourselves, because there's another component of it, the business development services. We want to work with you more, because in this StartP project and other projects that are coming up, we have more matching grants, matching loans that we are bringing in. When we focus this grant on the agribusinesses, we did not really take into account the fact that we would stimulate our cooperatives, we could stimulate.
For his part, Finance Minister Samuel Tuet thanked the donors for the support, reiterating that agriculture remains a key sector for the WIA-led government.
I thank the World Bank. The World Bank is an important partner to the government and to the people of Liberia. And I'd like to share particular thanks to the current management of the World Bank, the current country manager, and the current regional manager, Pierre. You know, I used to be at African Development Bank, so I understand the multilateral structure and how these institutions work. When we came to office, we told the bank and we told a lot of development partners that we wanted to do things a little differently, because, you know, we've learned some lessons in the past and wanted to work in different ways. We want a more hands-on approach. And let me say that this new manager and the regional manager who's in Accra, Pierre and Kwema, have really worked with this government to make that a reality. So if monies are programmed for one thing and the government says that we want that money re-engineered.
And away from Liberia, large numbers of Ghanaians have paid homage to late former President Jerry John Rawlings ahead of his funeral on Wednesday. His open casket was surrounded by flowers, candles, and a glass screen at Accra's International Conference Center. The 73-year-old died in November last year, but his burial was delayed in part because of disagreements between Ghana's current political leaders. During 2 decades in public life, he twice led military takeovers before later returning the country to multi-party politics and winning elections. To end this news, let's recap the major stories we follow. President George Weah challenges his cabinet to recalibrate and address pressing issues affecting the Liberian people. 9 counties to benefit from USAID's sponsor domestic tax revenue enhancement program. The Liberian government says road connectivity remains a top priority of its development agenda, and away from home, large numbers of Ghanaians pay homage to late former President Jerry John Rawlings ahead of his funeral on Wednesday. That's how we end this edition of the program. Join us at 8 this evening, when we'll be back here with another edition of the program. On behalf of the entire news team here at the Liberia National Television, my name is JARP Davies, wishing you the best from Pinsville. Bye-bye for now.